Hey, how's it going? It's Ollie here. So today's video, I'm going to teach you how to do wholesale on Amazon in the UK. Now, my client Techi sourced one product from a wholesaler in the UK that started to make £2,000 a day on Amazon. How did he do that? Well, I'm going to show you in today's video. So the first step when you're doing some wholesale in the UK is to find a hot product. So if you're looking for hot products on Amazon, best place to start is to think of a brand that you know is very popular. For example, Lego is always going to sell really well. There's some sets on there which make hundreds of thousands every month. So if you type Lego into Amazon, you'll see loads of really hot products that appear in the search results. So there's several ways you can tell if a product is hot. The easiest one at first glance is to look at the number of reviews. So if a product has like upwards of 1,000 reviews, I mean, so few people leave a review, it means it's had loads of sales. It's probably had hundreds of thousands of sales, tens of thousands of sales. Another way is you can use an extension like AMZ Scout, for example. Hit the button and you can see the monthly revenue and the monthly sales of every product on the page. So for example, this Lego Star Wars Advent Calendar right now, where has it gone? Let's jump down there, let's look at another one. This Marvel Sanctorium is doing £222,000 every month in sales, right? And that's about 1,200 sales every month. Pretty crazy. So if you can get your hands on one of these, you can actually get a slice of that revenue by reselling it on Amazon. So that's one way you can find really hot products. Another way is you can actually look at, if you click on any listing and you scroll down to the product information, which is here just below some of the ads for other products, you can have a little look for the additional information and find the best sellers rank. Now, anything anywhere near 100 is going to be one of the best selling products in the category, and probably will sell 10, 100, maybe several hundred times a day, depending on the category. So this product's 144 in toys and games out of probably hundreds of thousands of products, and therefore we know it's going to sell very well. And if I just open up AMZ Scout to verify that, yes, this is doing 2,311 sales each month, which is about, what's that, 15 sales a day, 32,000 a month in sales. So anything near 100 is going to be really, 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 really good. And you just know it's going to sell really, really well. Next thing you want to do is check the number of sellers on the listing, because remember, if you're selling a product wholesale, you're not going to be creating your own listing. This listing here, which is performing very well and getting 30 grand a month in sales, you're going to jump on this listing and sell the product alongside a load of other sellers. So there's pros to this, which means you get to jump on, you don't have to do any marketing, and you catch a load of the sales. There's cons as well, because you're going to have to sell the product and compete with all these other sellers. So the less sellers on the listing, the better. Right? The more sellers, the more competition. So go over to the right-hand side, just below the buy box, which is this box here, where it says buy now. Just below that, you'll see something like new and open box and a number of sellers. All right? If you click this, it will show you all the sellers on the listing. You can see how many there are. Now, it says here that there's 41 sellers on this listing. So if you sell this product, you're going to have to compete with 41 sellers. Okay, now the lower that number, the better. All right, because everybody's going to be trying to lower their price to get their product to appear here, which is the buy box, and only one seller can appear here on the buy box at any one time. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly show you what happens with this. So the seller that has the buy box is this seller here. This is The Entertainer. Now, they're a big retailer in the UK. Their price is £14.40. They're offering it without Prime, and they're charging £2.99 for delivery. So they have the buy box. This seller probably doesn't have the buy box because it's an open box product. It's not new, and it's a bit cheaper because of that. That's why they won't have the buy box. Okay, so this seller's got the buy box. So anytime a customer clicks buy now, they'll buy it directly from The Entertainer. So you want your product, when you're on the listing, to have the buy box. You want to be the product that's appearing here. All the other sellers, if they want to make a sale, then customers have to open up this tab, which they usually don't see, and then choose which seller they want to buy from. Okay. So obviously the more sellers on the listing, the harder it is to do that. And it's largely determined by the price that you offer. Next, we want to check the number of prime sellers. So if you click where it says new and open box from, etc., below the buy box on the right, see how many sellers. We want to see how many of these sellers have prime. Okay, so this seller is offering prime with the new and open box, that's 1. This seller here, 2, 3, keep going, 4, 5, keep scrolling, click see more once you get to the bottom, 6, 7, 7, and there's 7 sellers offering prime. So out of all the sellers here, only 7 have sent them into Amazon's FBA warehouse, so Amazon can distribute the product to the customer, which means it's prime, and customers can use their prime subscription to get next day delivery. So obviously if you're offering prime and you're sending stuff into Amazon's warehouse, you're going to have a big advantage over the other sellers who are just delivering it straight from their warehouse and charging a fee. And Amazon will actually give you more chance to get the buy box if you have prime and you're offering it for a competitive price. Because if you think about it, the total price for this product isn't $14.40, it's $14.40 plus £3, so it's like $17.40. This person's charging $18.80 and they have prime. So I'm assuming this person probably gets the buy box sometimes. So we've checked the number of prime sellers. Next, we want to have a look for no prime items. Now, if you can find a product in the search results on Amazon that doesn't have a prime tick next to it, that means that there's no competitive sellers charging a competitive price offering prime. As in, they're not using FBA, they're not sending it into the warehouse, they're shipping it themselves. So if you come in and you do send it into Amazon's warehouse, then you're going to have a big advantage. You're more likely to get the buy box, you're more likely to get the sale. So if you have a look through the search results, try and find a product without the prime tick, like this one, then if you can get hold of this product, send it into Amazon's warehouse, you're going to have a huge competitive advantage. So if we have a look, this one says new and there's 19 sellers from 674. We can see how many prime sellers there are. This one isn't prime, this one isn't prime. There's one prime seller here, but they're charging $12.99, which is not a competitive price. You don't really have to worry too much about. So if you can charge somewhere around this price for the product and offer prime, you're going to get the buy box and you're going to be able to sell your products really, really well. So keep an eye out for those listings with no prime. They are really golden opportunities for you to sell your products wholesale. Once we found a hot product, we want to check Keepa for price and BSR changes over time. So Keepa is a really useful tool that you can use to see what's happening over a period of time of a product. Okay, so for example, if we grab this one here that we just found that doesn't have any competitive prime sellers, I'm going to grab the ASIN from the bar at the top. You can also find it in the product information, the ASIN here, which is the little code for the product. You can also just search for it by typing it in the bar. Type the ASIN in, make sure you've chosen UK out of the countries, and then search. Now you can see what's happened with this product over time. So for example, the orange one here is Amazon. It's when they're in stock and when they're not in stock. So for example, for a few days here, Amazon ran out of stock. Look what happened. The price jumped because Amazon weren't offering it, so everybody was able to charge more than Amazon. And when Amazon came back into stock, the price went back down. Okay. Here, Amazon were in stock, but they were charging $8.99. Amazon ran out of stock here. This is from Thursday, August 4th until Thursday, August 9th. And here they were out of stock as well from Wednesday, July 20th to Wednesday, July 27th. So there's some gaps in Amazon being in stock and being out of stock. The price has changed from about $8.99 to $6.74, and it keeps fluctuating back and forth. Okay. So this gives you a good idea of what's likely to happen with the price. It's probably going to go back up to say £8 or £9 soon. You can also have a little look at what happens without Amazon in the buy box. You can also look at the sales rank as well. I think that's a premium feature. That tells you how fast or slow the product has been selling over time as well. But it's good to have a look just to see what's happening with the price using Keepa as you're doing your product research. Once you've found a product and you've had a little look at the Keepa charts, next we want to see if Amazon is on the listing and see how often they go out of stock. So we can look at this with Keepa as well, like we just did, but we want to have a look at the listing and see if Amazon are on there right now. So currently, if we click to see the other sellers, and you click see more up here, you can see Amazon is the one who has the buy box right now, and they're the one offering the product for this price. They're also offering a buy 4 save 5% deal as well. This is why when Amazon's in stock, the price drops. When Amazon goes out of stock, the price increases. As soon as Amazon leaves, everyone puts their price up and gets the opportunity to sell. Okay, this is good information to know if you're about to buy several hundred units of this product. Once you've gathered all of this information, you can actually put the product on your database. Okay, and we can do a quick analysis once we've got a load of products on there. So what I'm going to do first, this is the database that I'm going to use. Right, it's very, very simple. You can make this using Google Sheets like I've done. Put the link for the product in the first column. I like to clip it so the link doesn't overflow. The entire sheet. Number of sellers on the listing. We can see here, there's 19. Number of sellers within £5 of the buy box price. Now this is important. We want to see how many sellers are actually competing with the price that's being offered right now. So right now it's £6.74. So who's within £5 of that price? So that'd be anything up to say £12-ish. 1, that's Amazon themselves. 2, they're just outside of it because of the delivery. Well, they're just inside. That would be about £12. So that's 3. This person's outside of it. All right, so I'm going to say 3 sellers within £5 of the buy box price. Number of prime sellers. Okay, we had a little look just now, but let's have another look. How many prime sellers, if we get the right listing, are on there? 1. 2 prime sellers. Okay. Is Amazon on the listing? Yes. Does Amazon go out of stock? Yes. Sometimes, for a couple of days, as we saw on Keepa. A couple of days at a time, Amazon goes out of stock. Could never happen again though, but the pattern suggests that it probably will, so that's good to know. Right, so now we've got a little bit of information down on our spreadsheet. Okay. Next thing we want to do is find a distributor for the product and ask to open an account with them. So what you can do is go to Google, type in Lego distributor UK. You will find loads of distributors, if you can spell distributor properly, unlike me, who sell Lego wholesale. You can have a little look at their website. And the next step will be to send them a message and ask if you can open an account with them. Now, I probably wouldn't tell them you're selling on Amazon. Just say that you need some stock because you want to sell it. Right, you don't have to give them all the details of your business. They may ask for a limited company. They may ask if you're VAT registered. But the point is just to send them a message, ask to open an account, give them the information they want. And this is going to be a little bit like applying for a job, right? When you apply for a job, you don't just message 1 or 2 companies and send your CV, right? You're not going to get anywhere. Probably need to message 10, 20, 30 different distributors and send them the same message. And you'll probably get approved by a handful, and then a handful of them will have the minimum order quantities that are acceptable for you, and they'll be nice to work with. Okay, so you have to put in the work a little bit to find a distributor that works for you. But once you've got one and you've got a really hot selling product, it's really, really worth it. Okay? Next thing you want to do is negotiate a bulk price for the bulk order. Now, obviously, the more you order, the cheaper you're going to get it and the happier the distributor will be. And you want to get the price per unit for that order. So let's say you wanted to sell this product here that we looked at. If you're selling it for £6.74, or if you want to try and wait for Amazon to go out of stock so you can sell it at £8.69, then obviously you're going to need to be buying it for a price which is a lot cheaper than that so you can make profit. Once you've got the price per unit, you'll get it from the wholesaler, put it in your database. Okay, so for example, let's say we can source it for $3.99 per unit. Also put in the quantity. If you have to order 1,000 units, then put that there as well, because that will determine whether you're happy or not with the supplier. All right, you might find that some suppliers let you order 300 or 100. Right. Another thing you can do when you've got loads of quotes is set up a new tab in your product research sheet and put down all of the quotes from all of the distributors as well. So for example, this distributor here, you could put down the link in the first column, right? Clip it as I like to do. Product will be the Lego 107 Creative Monsters. Okay, clip it as usual. You can type in the MOQ. Let's say they want you to order 500. MOQ is minimum order quantity, right? Price per unit. Okay, it's $3.99 from this particular wholesaler. Will they do a test order? Yes or no? Yes. And then any notes you have about the supplier, you can put there. As you contact more suppliers and get quotes from them, you can note down all the quotes on the database and compare to see who would be the best company to go with. But you can put perhaps the best quote and the best quantity on your product research sheet here. So now we've got a price per unit. Next, we want to see if that price per unit is actually acceptable and if you can make profit with that price per unit if you sell it for the average price it sells for on Amazon. So to do this, we're going to use the FBA Calculator. Now to find the FBA Calculator, all you have to do is go to Google, type in FBA Calculator UK, and it should be the first link that comes up. It should be sellercentral.amazon.co.uk, and you see profitability calculator. Click on the link, click continue as guest, and then search Amazon catalog. Then you can again type in the ASIN of the product, or just search for it. I like to type in the ASIN because it's a lot faster. Grab it from here, ASIN, under technical details in the product information. Usually starts with a B and maybe a 0. Paste it into the search bar, hit search, Amazon will find it for you. And you can use the fulfillment by Amazon calculator to figure out whether it will be profitable. So let's see if this product is actually profitable. So we're going to put in the price per unit offered by the distributor. For example, let's say it's $3.99. If we're selling it at £6.74, we're going to make a £2.81 loss per unit. Okay, so we can actually use the FBA calculator to figure out what price we'd need to sell it at to be able to make a profit. So let's say we sold it at $8.99, which the product sells for sometimes. And then we'd make a £1.29 loss. The reason why is because we have Amazon fees, fulfillment costs, and storage costs as well. And there's also VAT on top of the fees as well, which we need to take into account. So if we keep edging the price up, we can see which price we'd need to charge to be able to make profit. And then we can see whether it would be viable to actually buy some of these and sell it. So if we sell it for $11.99, we'll make 76p profit. Well, that's not too much, right? Let's try $12.99. We'll make $1.43. Let's say $14.99. We'll make £2.80. Okay, now that's starting to get reasonable because you're making an 18% margin, which is actually pretty strong. And let's say you start selling 100 of these a day or 50 of these a day. Now it starts to become a real product which could generate you some real money. So unless you can charge $14.99 or somehow get them, say, much cheaper, let's say you manage to get them at $1.99 each, then maybe you could charge less. The numbers just won't work, okay? So you have to keep looking for products, and keep asking your supplier for quotes until the numbers make sense on the fulfillment calculator, and then you can place your order with the distributor. Now this does take time, it does take time and energy. However, if you just find one product that could sell 10, 20 times a day, you could be like Techi and make $2,000 a day with your product, which is entirely possible. It just takes a little bit of searching. You just have to search for the products and search for the suppliers. All right, let's say you've done this and you found a product which you can source for a decent cost per unit and you can sell it for a decent amount. What do you do next? Well, you don't really want to buy 1,000 units and pray that all of your product research is going to play out in reality, because it might not. You may have missed something. So if possible, ask if you can place a very small test order from your supplier. Sometimes they'll do this, sometimes they won't. This is why it's very useful, again, to have many options of suppliers you can source from, because some of them just won't ever let you do this. Okay? So get 10 units and get an invoice for those 10 units. Then you will need to get permission and approval to sell a brand like Lego on Amazon. It's just the way it works. They want to make sure you're selling legitimate stock. So when you buy these 10 units and you get your invoice, you can use that invoice to prove to Amazon you're sourcing this from a legitimate distributor, and then you can get ungated to sell Lego, and then when you send in your 500, you'll already be approved. The other risk of ordering 500 straight up is that you may not get approved, or it might take a long time, and then you're stuck with the inventory. So place a small order first, get ungated, sell those units, see how they perform, look maybe over a week or two to see how the price actually fluctuates, see if you really make profit, and then you'll know if you buy 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 or whatever, whether you'll actually make profit long term or not. Yes, when you've got your test batch, send it into FBA and see the actual sales volume. Once you've done that, place the big order. You can buy 500, you can buy 1,000 units from your wholesaler. They'll be very happy to do business with you. And hopefully you can keep ordering from them, right? Because obviously that's the kind of relationship they want to have with you. And as you start to order more, they can do things like offer you payment terms where you pay for the stock over several months. That's when you really start to be able to scale the business a lot faster, because you can buy a lot more inventory and pay it off as you make the sales. Now let's talk pricing strategy. Pricing strategy. So obviously when you're competing on a listing with loads of other sellers, like 19 other sellers, everybody's going to be lowering their price, increasing their price all the time, because they want the buy box and they want to get sales. Now you will make some sales if you don't have the buy box, right? But you'll make way more when you do, because the customers go on the page, they click buy now, and they buy it. They often don't even know what this is here to see all the other sellers. They do sometimes, and they have a look, and some sellers want Prime, some sellers actually don't like Prime for some reason. They don't understand what it is. So you can still make sales without the buy box. However, everyone's going to be adjusting their prices. So how low do you go, and what's the best pricing strategy? Well, the first thing to do is to figure out what your break-even price would be. So let's say you can source this for $3.99, and let's say that's how much you're getting it for from your distributor. Let's say we want to figure out the break-even price. Well, it's going to be somewhere around $11.99. Okay, probably $11.50 maybe £11 on the dot. Yeah, so £11 on the dot gets us 9p profit, which is near enough break even. So you don't want to charge anywhere under £11 for this product, otherwise you're going to start making a loss after FBA fees. So this is something to remember with your pricing strategy. Never go under £11. You probably always want to be a lot over £11, otherwise you're just not going to be making any money. Really, you want to be charging at least 12, and then at least you can make 6% profit. You know, ideally we want to be in the sort of 14 or 15 pounds region, and then we can make some decent profit. Now the margins with wholesale do vary, but they are relatively low. We want 10, 15%, sometimes 5%, and we want volume, lots and lots and lots of volume. That's just how wholesale works. But once we've figured out our break-even point, then we'll know the lowest we can possibly go without making a loss. Then, when you're offering a product on Amazon, my advice to you with pricing is be patient. Yes, somebody might come in, a new wholesaler might come in, and they might offer the product at £3 cheaper than you. Somehow, they've got 10,000 units or something, and they just undercut you by loads. And you might be tempted to lower your price below the break-even point. Never do this, right? Never stoop to that level and cost yourself money just because you're not patient. Be patient. Wait for them to sell out. It might take a few days, it might take a few weeks, it might take a month. Sooner or later, there'll be a gap in their inventory. That's where you can charge your price, and that's where you can make your money. And if you found a product where, you know, the Keepa price average does allow for you to make profit at times, then this will be more likely that it's going to actually happen and you can make your profit. So be patient. Figure out what your break-even point is, and then keep the price above that. And the more you can charge, the more money you're going to make. And the more patient you are, the more money you're going to make as well. So be prepared to wait to sell your product at a decent price. Another thing we need to discuss is inventory strategy. Wide is better than deep. So what do I mean by that? Well, which scenario would you prefer? Having 2 products and having 3,000 units of each, or having, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different product lines with a few hundred units of each? Which would be a more healthy business strategy? Well, with the 3,000 units, there is some benefit to this, because if you order in bulk, the price will actually go down because you're ordering more stock, right? So that is, you know, a decent strategy in a way. There's some benefits to it because yes, you have less lines, but your profit margin is going to be higher. So some people, when they like a risk, they'll go for the deep strategy where you have less lines and you have more units of each. However, what happens if Amazon all of a sudden has never sold on the listing before and you think, wow, I can charge loads of money for this product. It looks great. But then Amazon come along and go, yeah, we've just bought 500,000 units of the product and you're not going to be able to sell this probably for a year. Well, then this product's completely out of commission and you just lost all the money that you spent on it. Wouldn't it be better to have 10 lines of stock, go very wide with your inventory, and then if one of your products goes out, which it will at some point, you've still got 9 more. In fact, you could probably lose 2 or maybe 3 products and still make profit overall over time. So this is why I recommend a wide inventory strategy rather than a deep one. Okay, that means lots of product lines, not so many units per product. Now you have the steps to go and sell wholesale products on Amazon in the UK. Now, if you want some help building your Amazon business, let's talk on the phone. You can book an Amazon Accelerator call. And what we'll do first of all is we'll talk about your goals. We'll figure out, where do you want to be? How much money do you want to earn? What business do you want to build? What life do you want to live? Get a clear picture of where you want to go. Once we've figured out where you want to go, we'll talk about where you're starting from, as in where you are now. Have you ever sold on Amazon? Are you brand new? What's your situation? What's your budget? All that stuff. Then we'll map out the steps we need to take to get from where you are to hitting your goal. And once we've got this plan, we can discuss, if you want to, how I can actually help you to hit the goal and different services I can provide for you to help you get there. For example, we can give you one-on-one coaching. We can give you a product to start with if you want to do private label. We can help you get the stock imported from China. We can help you create the listing. We can do loads of stuff for you to give you that boost to get your results way faster. So if you want to call, click the link in the description, book in an Amazon Accelerator call, and we'll chat to you on the phone. Thanks so much for watching this video. I really hope it was helpful. Make sure you like, hit subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll catch you very soon.